Well, just to let you know, my name is DJ Ramo. I host a heavy metal show out of Oregon. We throw festivals, we promote bands, we do all sorts of things, and we promote badasses like ANTIPOPE.
Great, that's awesome.
Well, dude, first off, I want to say thank you for being on the show. One of the best things about having this career is that I get I get introduced into new music, and before I worked with these companies and stuff like I haven't heard of ANTIPOPE. So I literally dug into the entire album, which is a massive, just incredible album. And what I first picked off of it is that there's just so much jam packed as far as like stylistically, where you want to go with every song. Like honestly, like sometimes you think it's a black metal album, but then it goes straight into like a melodic power metal sort of structure sense for like leads and solos, and then it almost goes all the way back to like almost like punk drumming, for like the drumming. It almost brings you back almost like not like the thrash 80s, like around like the thrash Motorhead, era, where it's like, okay, in one song you're going, and in Eye of the Storm, you're just going insanely crazy with your structures, you're going off, and then it's just it just goes dark, and then it gets pretty, and then it goes dark. It's almost like you're living in the mind of a psychopath or somebody or somebody who's like bipolar, but like in a great way. But the music's chaotic, dude. My favorite songs off the album are Eye of the Storm, When the Day Is Gone, and Rex Mundi Eternum.
Yeah, Eternum,
dude. Eternum. Which that song is just absolutely insane. As a songwriter myself, I listen to your album and I am just amazed by how smooth all your transitions are as you're literally hitting like all these avenues. Like with ANTIPOPE, like were you sure what exactly type of project you wanted to do, or was it kind of like, I'm gonna dive in and just play what I love? Like tell me a little bit about you and how you got like all these influences to create like such a great chaotic album in the most beautiful ways.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the compliment. And it's I haven't been talking with that many people yet, and haven't been receiving this kind of technically face-to-face feedback. So it's nice to hear what the people are getting from the album. So yeah, thank you. Well, about the process, I would say that initially we kind of started to write the next chapter to our previous album, Apostle of Infinite Joy. But then and we wrote some 5 or 6 songs, of which only 2 ended up on the album. When the Day Is Done and Ritual to Traverse the Abyss between light and darkness. And but then I wrote a song, or started to write a song, which kind of started to write itself. Sometimes that happens. And I got in my mind that let's see how long I can make this. And pretty much everything that I tried just seemed to fit. And that's the song that you picked out as one of your favorites too. It's Rex Mundi Eternum. And that song, it captured exactly those things that you mentioned, that it's dark and it's beautiful and it's brutal and it's melodic. And since when I started to play electric guitar back in early 1990s, it was Guns N' Roses was the band that made me want to compose music. But Iron Maiden was the band that made me want to write particular kind of music. And then came all those 1990s black metal bands, Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir. They were quite a big influences for me. I wasn't that much into the kind of an underground black metal thing. I've never been. been into that. Although I do enjoy more simple kind of a meditative black metal too, but not as an influence to my music or our music. So Rex Mundi Eternum, that song, or the song that later became go by that name, it kind of felt it captured all those influences. And when we started ANTIPOPE back in 2004, those first, let's say 10 to 15 demo songs, early songs, which were never published officially, they were kind of a self-published, given as a CDRs to friends and relatives. They had those same influences. So there was like this twin guitar traditional heavy metal thing going on with black metal influences. But then we went to another direction and explored some like industrial gothic doom metal stuff. And for an album or so, maybe 2 albums in the early 2010s. But since then, I've kind of wanted to go back to my roots as a music listener also, but particularly as a player and composer. And I've been like reintroducing those influences since the 2017 album Denial Survival. You can hear a lot of things on that one. That album too. But Apostle of Infinite Joy, that came in 2020, like 2 weeks before COVID started. Yeah, really? 2 weeks before that, we released that album. There you can kind of hear all those elements already. It's like this heavy metal and black metal, but this Rex Mundi, I feel that it takes it to another level, and we kind of create. I feel that we create something unique there. And it was also a conscious decision to not go with distorted black metal vocals or death growls or anything. Since as the COVID came, I had a lot of time to try some different things, practicing singing, try some different singing things.
I love it. Yeah.
And then I suggested to the rest of the band members that, what do you think if I would just, sing in a traditional heavy metal style, this one, although the music is faster and more brutal than what we've written before, but let's not make vocals brutal in a modern day sense. But that's such
a great combination, though. I think that's great. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to say, like, I think that's really awesome that you're taking like risks as an artist to really express yourself. I think it's really easy to just choose distorted vocals or go in an avenue that's safe. Like with Rex Mundi and this whole album, I could not throw you guys in a category with 100 other bands. Like, there's too much going on, and I really love that. Like, you suggested that to your bands, but continue with that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, what you said, it's I think that's a kind of that we don't put ourselves to any particular niche or genre. If you would ask me what is our style, I would say that it is heavy metal. We are a heavy metal band, but we take influences from black metal mostly, but also from other styles too. But it is in my mind, it's a continuum from what bands like Gamma Ray and Iron Maiden, Halloween, Judas Priest, what they did, and with added flavors from bands like Cradle of Filth and those symphonic 1990s black metal bands, which are still writing music, but that's when they influenced me as a songwriter. But yeah, what you mentioned, that there is so much going on, I think that's something that it's people either like, or I could almost say love what we do, or they totally don't get it. And they may not necessarily hate it, but they say that Antipope cannot decide what kind of a style they want to play. That's actually quite common criticism that we get from Finnish press, from the Finnish album reviews. They don't get us here. There are a couple of reviewers who kind of get it, but most are just Antipope they can't decide what they want to do. They should just pick one style and stick to it. But it is actually, our style is what you hear here on Rex Mundi.
No, and that's sick, man. And I just totally honorable of you to stick to your guns and stick what you actually love doing. You're not going to go up on stage and feel like shit because you're playing something that you really didn't mean. And I'm really happy for you guys too, man, because you mentioned before that the other album, it released 2 weeks before COVID, so you probably couldn't tour on it. You probably had to do all this like new social media learning and online content. Like, because I swear every band when COVID hit learned how to make content. And I couldn't imagine like you guys getting ready to release a new album, then like being like, all right, guys, everything's going to be on hold and you can't really do much. Like, I'm really happy that with this album, you guys really get to push it out there and people really get to experience it.
Yeah, me too. It was a bummer with Apostle of Infinite Joy. It was our first album to be released by Moribund Records, the label from the Seattle.
Oh yeah,
which also published this one. So we were like really excited that now we are signed with this American label, and who knows what could happen, and exactly who knew what would happen.
Dude, it's sick.
No, we didn't. Obviously, we didn't play any gigs to support Apostle until last May this year. That's when we returned and played some club gigs and a festival show, mainly playing the songs from the Apostle. But also actually we played When the Day is Done. We wanted to test it with the audience, although we knew that it's gonna be on the album, but we threw it out there and people really liked it, and that's something that crowd will hear when we go and play live next year.
I love it, man.
Set there.
I love it. You know what? And I'm a vocalist guitarist myself, and when I listen to all your music and everything, one of the things that always hits me first too is like, it's like when you're writing all these massive songs and everything, like, are you really particular and really like paying attention of where you're going to set your lyrics, where you're going to set your verses or your choruses, like, because you have like such beautiful structures and such beautiful songs where like you could almost write like an instrumental, you know what I mean? But I think what makes a really great song, especially if like you're trying to stretch it out like 10 minutes, it's like when you're really able to implement those parts, like when you're writing a song and you have all these ideas, do you ever go through your head like, how am I going to sing and play this, or I got to write like a whole new part for it? Like how does your brain work when you're trying to write a song and you're trying to sing too?
Well, to be honest, I don't think much. How am I going to be able to sing and play it simultaneously? And while we've been rehearsing songs from Rex Mundi, we have 5 songs that we are going to include into the set list. I have to say that I had to learn some new skills to be able to play and sing all that. because when I'm writing, it's always we write the music first, and then I start to listen to it and I try to figure out what's the general mental landscape, kind of an emotional atmosphere there, and then some idea pops into my head, and that's where the story usually goes. It's never the way around that I would have a concept for an album and then start writing music for it. It's always the music first, and then the music kind of tells me where it wants to go. And this time it was an accident, actually, or it's a happy accident, as I'm a history researcher as a profession, a day job. And I was doing some reading for an article that I was writing at the time, 2.5 years ago, I think it was. And then I came across with this some poems, I think, that describe the events of the Cathar Crusade.
Oh wow!
When I was reading them and some of the descriptions of what was going on there back in 1200s, I started to hear the song material that we had picked for the album, and I felt that okay, this is where it's going to go, because I had been looking for the lyrical theme for the album for maybe 6 months or so, and we had one concept, but it just didn't fit. So we had all these songs, we had all them composed, and we had recorded guitars and bass and all that, but we didn't have the lyrical concept. But then this Cathar thing came, and I immediately felt that this is the one. And because if you think about what was going on, that it was brutal. Obviously, it was war. It was genocidal war in some sense, but it was also, there were like some heroical acts by some historical figures, and you can, I would say that you can see the beauty in that kind of way, how people are ready to sacrifice themselves for ideas, even though I personally don't condone that kind of behavior. One of the reasons why the band is called ANTIPOPE. It refers to not having someone to tell you what to do. But anyway, so it was like all those emotions and emotional flavors were there in the historical situation, and it started to speak to me through the music that I had written. And we had written, our bass player Joni, who joined the band in 2019, he also participated actively with writing the songs. And our other guitarist Antti, he wrote the Ritual song.
Awesome.
It's co-written with Antti. So anyways, it's those historical events just became part of the music. And then it was a lot of reading, a lot of buying books and digging really deep into the 1200s. And because, as you know, the Cathars, they are part of the popular culture. The Da Vinci Code, the book and the movie, it kind of makes references to that lost child of Jesus and whatever. But that's fiction, of course. So I got interested in those real people, but then I also wanted to add some extra mysticism and some occult stuff there too. But that's for the listener to find out.
Man, that is so great, man. You guys really put a lot of work in this album, and reading and just doing I mean, you being a natural researcher yourself, I bet you love reading books, but I see the books in the background, but yeah, no, dude, that's so great. And man, that's going to make me just want to listen to the album a lot closer. I feel now that our listeners and people who are going to listen direct Mundi now can like really put the pieces together, because I've listened to a lot of albums before where I really don't know what's going on, And I think interviews like this is really important because now I'm going to go through and be like, all right, it's the 1200s. We're talking about the Cutters, going through the history of just all this tyranny and you know what? Now that you told me that, it makes a lot more sense with your music.
All right. Yeah, I should say that those song lyrics are written so that every other song is from a different perspective. So there's like the side of the Crusaders, and then there's the side of the Cathars, the people who were labeled as heretics. So it alternates between.
I love that. That's
song to song. So I hope I didn't give anything away or spoil anything, but
oh man, you know, no, you have my brain working, so I think I know what's going on, but I think I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna see if I can put the pieces together, and if I figure it out, I'll send you a message.
All right. Cool.
But Mikko, I want to thank you so much for being on the Metal Mixtape. For everybody out there tuning in, we're talking to Mikko from ANTIPOPE. The new album, Rex Mundi, it's so absolutely sick. For people that love heavy metal in general, and all that heavy metal branches off of, like, I think ANTIPOPE is a great representation of that. Everything fits if you work hard enough.
Well, that's a quite a big compliment. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, and this album is badass, dude. It's quite a joy. I listened to Eye of the Storm like 6 times. I think that's probably what my Eye of the Storm when the day is gone is just so fucking sick. I love it, dude. And Rex Mundi is super long, so I only could listen to it a couple times, you know. But Mikko, thanks again. Last thing, can you say this is Mikko from ANTIPOPE and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape? All
right. This is Mikko from ANTIPOPE, and you're listening to Metal Mixtape.
Thank you so much, brother. I hope you have a great rest of your interviews, great rest of your day, and I wish you nothing but success on this album, brother.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You too, man. You have a great day.
Yeah.